Welcome everybody to Write Better Together. I'm Jon Meyers. Hey, look everybody, it's Peggyann Kennedy. Oh my
Hello
goodness,
again.
you came back.
I have returned, yes.
You have returned. What are we talking about today, Peggyann Kennedy?
Well, Jon Meyers, we have quite the list.
Oh.
First, we'll have our viewer response,
Yeah.
and then we will have a special guest. Her name is Signe. She is an author and artist in the Netherlands.
Oh, I know her.
I bet she's a wonderful person. I can't wait to meet her.
Do you know
And
why I
then,
know her? Because she did that cover.
oh yeah, that's
She
right.
also did that on the back.
I love it. I love her love of horses. It's incredible. And then we'll do the Hey Jon Meyers.
Yes.
And we'll have an extra special game that I've come up with.
Extra special.
I hope you like it.
I've been up for 3 days, so I don't have to use my brain, do I?
You might.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait. How'd you get out of your bubble?
Well, I advocated for myself at the urgent care, ER, and the doctor's office. I spent 3 days of this past week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at the doctor's.
Is there gonna be blood involved in this story?
No blood.
Am I gonna faint?
I might, but you won't.
I'm acting like I don't know this, but you already texted me that, and I've already been praying for you all week, so obviously you survived it. You have follow-up appointments.
I do. I have one on Tuesday, and then I actually have one tomorrow that just happened this morning.
Oh.
So, that was just set up today. So it's going to be a several hours long thing. So I had to cancel my therapy, which really saddens me, but it's a test that I really need to do.
I was gonna say don't cancel your therapy, and then you literally said the next sentence, I canceled my therapy.
I had to. The only other appointment they had.
Yeah, if it's your only appointment, you got to take those appointments when you can.
Right. I had to have it as soon as possible, and the next appointment they could offer would be end of October. So
Oh my goodness.
I had to.
All right.
What was your out of the bubble story?
Oh, wait, I want to talk about your gallbladder for a second. I don't want to say anything out loud because I believe power of life and death is in the tongue. So I don't want to say whether or not they're going to take it out or not. But I am going to ask, if you were a hypothetical person who had your hypothetical gallbladder taken out, would you hypothetically keep it in a jar?
Ew, no.
Thank you. I know someone. It's been a while, so they offer it to you when she got hers out. They offer it to you, and she took it, and it was like at home in her house, in her like in a big jar. It's just a little thing, but it's floating around in some kind of solution. Well, I'm like, are you gonna clone yourself with that or something? Why do you have that? I'm good. Yeah, leave that part there, man. Hopefully they're gonna discover something that it has nothing to do with that, and there's gonna be like they're gonna I don't know, adjust your spine and you'll be walking out of there good as new or something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I just hope they can figure out what it is.
Yeah, that's the important thing. All right, you want to know how I got on my bubble? Is that what you asked me?
Yes, please.
Well, after church, it was a beautiful day. And so I went, here's me in my car. I put the top down and I went and got that beautiful ice cream cone.
That looks good.
Are you allowed to eat ice cream?
In very, very small quantities and portions. Right now, especially, I have to be as low fat as possible because the stomach and the gallbladder cannot process fat. Mine can.
No, but like a year ago, were you an ice cream eater, or do you drink milk, or do you drink almond milk?
Almond.
That's why I drink almond milk. I don't drink. I haven't drank cow milk since my ex was a vegan, and so since back then, I'm not a vegan, but since back I haven't drank cow milk since all the way back then. But that ice cream had cow milk in it. I'm sure it wasn't almond ice cream. So guess what flavor that was?
Pecan?
No.
Caramel. Caramel. Snickers. Reese's. I don't know. What flavor was it?
Pretzel and cheese.
I would never have guessed that.
However, it was wonderful. However, your first caramel guess, it had a ribbon of spicy caramel through it, which it did not
Spicy.
need. Correct. And yes. And so had it not had that, it would have been A plus plus. I mean, it was fantastic. And I've had chocolate pretzel ice cream before, but
Oh,
I've never had pretzel cheese. But like you dip pretzels in cheese, right? And it was like uh, it was like what do they call like bar cheese? I don't drink, but like when it's like fried like a mozzarella stick, except it was cheddar, it was yellow. So there was like little pieces of that in it with the pretzel. Oh, it was so good. But then every once in a while you'd hit some of that spicy caramel, and no, thank you, man.
mm.
And but it overall it was a good experience.
Props
And
to you for trying something new and different. I don't know if
always,
I'd want to try that.
what's your favorite ice cream?
Oh goodness. Anything chocolate. Like just regular plain chocolate, Rocky Road, mix in some Reese's cups or anything like that in it.
Yeah, I like Reese's chocolate too. My
Oh yeah.
favorite is guess what my favorite is? Not
Uh, um, I could not tell. Mint, mint chocolate chip.
so that used to be my favorite. So yeah, growing
Oh,
up, that was my favorite. And then but since I've been an adult, it's been red velvet cake ice cream. That's my favorite
ooh,
flavor. And
ooh, yes, yes,
um
yes.
but we have like I had red velvet cake that was my favorite cake growing up. So I liked it before it was cool to like it before it became trendy. I can remember having birthday parties where I had red velvet cake. But yeah, that's
I
my
did
favorite
too.
ice cream. What
Mm,
flavor is that you're drinking?
mm. Glacier Freeze Gator Light.
Oh.
I'm drinking it like medicine. It's not making me feel great to drink it, but I have to drink it. So
Are they sponsoring us?
they are not sponsoring us. I'm not being paid to show my Gator Light drinks.
Speaking of that, we're gonna be an affiliate, or we are affiliate because it got approved in the last 72 hours uh, for blogging system. Sherry Bennett from Step by Step Blogging. And she literally coaches you on how to have a successful blog. At some point, we will have one of the people who have successfully graduated from her course. We'll have them on. We haven't talked about blogging. That's how Emily got her start. She blogged for almost 10 years. I used to say 10 years, but then she'd be like, no, it was only 9.5 years. and and so but for a long time, and I believe, as you already know, I think blogging is good. Well, first of all, Sherry can teach you how to make a living at it, but it's good practice when you're talking about process versus product. Oh, yeah, you haven't talked about that yet in the episode. Later in the interview when you talk about product versus process. It's good training for memoir when you blog
Okay.
because you're telling stories from your life no matter what niche you're blogging about. Like Emily was blogging about mental health, and then when she got pregnant before she had the baby, she would be blogging about the intersection of mental health and motherhood and pregnancy, um, and so but it's stories from your life and then lead to the point. There are memoir-ish stories in our writing lifestyle advice book, and there are, I don't know, of 30 chapters, there's probably 15 of them, 20 of them that could have been blog posts. They weren't, but they could have been. And so
Okay.
yeah, so there'll be a
Awesome.
link down in the show notes to find out more about her blogging program. How about that? I wasn't planning on talking about that.
Hey, John Myers.
Yes, it's time for that already.
Not quite.
Oh, dang.
Sorry to disappoint, but I was gonna ask, do we have a viewer response ready yet?
Oh, yeah, that's the most important thing, isn't it?
Definitely.
I've got so many of them. Let me find them. So, on the Instagram, someone had much to say about this beautiful cover of this book that we had showed on the previous episode, and that someone was Laura Palka, a future guest. We're gonna try to get her on in the future. And she said, "Hey, John Meyers, by the way, the illustration on your book, The Pantomime Horses, genius!" Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation! Exclamation point! To which I responded, "Thanks. She did a great job. I felt kind of guilty for not following my own advice, because my advice, what we were talking about in a publishing group, was I think the illustrator's name should be on the cover, but I didn't put it on this cover. But I gave her a whole paragraph on the back, and so that was an intentional choice because it's going to be a series, and so there has to be room for in the future ones for the series stuff to go down there. And but I'm still second guessing it. Anyway, so she got a whole paragraph on the back, and then she got a whole page with a link to her stuff in the back matter of the book. And so I'm a strong supporter of real live human being illustrators. And I said her name is Signe of Horses. Hey, I wonder if we're going to talk to her later in this episode. And she is in the Netherlands. She is also a fascinating person. She built her own house, for example. I've had her on the podcast twice. Now it's going to be 3 times. How about that? And then Laura said, "No kidding, she sounds like a rare and special find." How about that?
That's awesome. That's really cool.
And then I have 2 more that were on the YouTube. We love when you all comment on the YouTube because then other people start commenting underneath where you comment on the YouTube. So thank you, people who do that. And these comments are about you.
Wait, what?
Why did you make a bad face? Why are you anticipating badness? They're about you. They're wonderful. The first comment is on the YouTube underneath last week's episode from Tamiko Nesbitt. You've met Tamiko. And she says, "Fantastic segment. Heart emoji, smiley face emoji, applaud emoji, applaud emoji, applaud emoji. John, you are by far one of my favorite people / podcasters. Aw, I should be everybody's favorite person, shouldn't I?" And then a bunch of emojis. Peggyann, you are the real sweetheart and a podcast natural. Aw.
Oh, she is so sweet. I love her to death.
She doesn't lie either. So you have reservations about hearing your own voice on the podcast. Tamiko wouldn't lie. You're wonderful. You're a natural. You're just going to have to.
Okay, I guess I'll believe Tamiko.
Oh, you wouldn't believe me, but you're going to believe Tamiko. And then this other person, Kimberly Carpenter Drymon. I thought it was going to say Dry Mom. Kimberly Carpenter Drymon. This is quite the fun and interesting podcast with 2 talented writers. Aw, that was very nice of her to say that, wasn't it?
You know who that is?
I'm guessing it's your mom.
My mommy.
And
That's her.
Let's pretend that it's not your mom.
Okay.
No, it's your mom. Good. I'm glad she thinks that you're good because you are. There you go.
One more thing.
Yes.
Happy 80th video anniversary.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the 80. Why do you know that and I don't even know that?
I thought you did.
I do. You don't look old enough to be around for 80 years. What the heck? How is that even possible? That's a major achievement.
It is. Congratulations. Oh, so next we have Signe.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful name. She's an author and artist in the Netherlands. And a fun fact that I just learned today is that she can speak a dying language called
Yes.
Frisian, right?
Frisian. Yep. Correct.
Frisian. That is awesome. She'll be coming on to talk with us about art versus product.
Viking language.
Ooh, cool. That's awesome. She goes to Viking markets too, right?
Yeah. And she taught you 2 words,
Oh,
Dutch words.
yeah.
She didn't teach you Frisian. She taught you 2 Dutch words.
Right. I cannot remember what
Oh
one of
my
them.
goodness. I guess she didn't teach them to you then.
I actually can't remember either one, but I remember one started with an L. But it was the idea of doing nothing to recharge just for the sake of doing nothing and taking care of yourself.
Like Herkel Durkel in Scottish.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Thought that.
Let's watch her.
Awesome. Yay.
And we're back. Hey, oh my goodness. It's Signe. We're
It's
like
me.
all the
Signe.
way from the Netherlands again.
Peggyann.
Hi, Signe.
Is it
Nice
snowing
to
there
meet
yet,
you.
Signe?
Not yet.
I think it
It's
snows.
windy.
I think it snows 11 months out of the year up there.
Yep. Yes, you do.
um,
I wish it did. I wish it did. Truly, I wish it did. Well, not 11 months, but at least 6.
so Signe needs to go soon. You teach sword fighting, or you're a student? Which one?
I'm in the class. Yes, I'm a student.
Oh, I thought you taught it, but I wasn't for
Yeah.
sure. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. She's going to teach Peggyann how to sword fight.
Woohoo.
No.
She's good.
Today,
You
what I
can be
want to
great
talk
at it.
about, what I want to talk about today is, and so Peggyann doesn't even know my position. I don't know if Signe does or not, but for my entire life, we're going to talk about the art versus product debate. Emily and I had done an entire episode on it. I'll put the link down in the show notes. Esmatisco and I had a discussion about it. And my entire life, everything, I've never written for something that wasn't a product. And even if I kept a journal or whatever, someday that journal was going to get turned into something to be a product. So I never created anything that wasn't a product. I'm also a person that believes that the cereal box is as important as the cereal inside the box. And so Peggyann and I are working on a project together, and she's already learning this because I'm like, I want the page like this. The page is going to be this size, and the margins are going to be this because I need to know how many words are going to go on a page before I even start writing it. Because the box is as important as the content in my world. We had Rick Rubin versus Jacob Collier, the musician. They've had this debate, and Rick Rubin says that it's all art. They're like everything's art, and it's feeling and it's emotion. And Jacob Collier's and Rick Rubin says you don't even acknowledge the audience. And we talked a little bit about audience, Signe, when we had Esmatisco on. Jacob Collier's like includes the audience in everything that like he'll be like a conductor with his audience. You can't ignore the audience. So I'm gonna say how I'm growing and I'm evolving, and then you two can talk about it. We have the world's renowned Signe, the I don't know even what you want, and I want you to talk about the new project that you're working on too with the taper. Do you say taper? Trunk the taper and the girl.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about that too. It's so cute, by the way. Anyway, so I taught a master class over Labor Day weekend. That's when I met Peggyann, by the way. And I took her pitch as a memoir because we're going to be working on her memoir over the next year. I'm going to mentor her on that. And while I was working and creating that master class, it occurred to me that we use art to take the ugliness of our world and make it beautiful. And so when I'm coaching Peggyann and with the people that I taught in this master class, that's what I taught them. I taught them to take these ugly, terrible moments from their childhood or whatever, and how do we make those ugly moments beautiful? That's art. And there like it'll eventually be a product when the memoir gets published, but that's art first. I've never said that in all my ages. And so this is people that have watched this show from this is the 80th episode, by the way. So people have watched the previous 79 episodes. They're like falling out of their chair right now because they're like saying Jon Meyers thinks our that he's going to create something that is a product secondarily. And yeah, I am. It'll still be a product, but we use art to turn ugly things into beauty and to work them into our lives and to deal with them. I want to hear what you two have to say about that.
I have so much to say. Can I go first, Peggyann?
Have at it.
Thank you. Because I work the other way around. So I guess we can all learn from each other. Because I work the other way around. I create things and then I have to start thinking about how do I make this into a product so I can earn a living from what I love doing. And I'm on the cusp of actually doing that after being alive for a few decades. Always had a job, and now I always said I was an artist or wanted to be an artist, and now I'm doing it. Now I'm actually doing the art thing. So for me, it's the other way around. Also, I want to this is a quote I heard somebody say, and I think it's an excellent quote for anybody, any age, but today, especially for you, Jon Meyers. If you can't change your mind, why have one?
Oh.
And it means that we have to be flexible in our thinking, because otherwise, what do we use our brains for? Except eating, sleeping, and staying alive.
Yeah.
So you can write that down somewhere and remind yourself and not feel bad about having to change your mind after a while. I think it's a noble thing if you can change your mind. Yeah, it's a good thing. So you talked about ugly things and making them pretty or making them nice.
Making them beautiful. That's
making
art,
them beautiful.
I mean, not all art is beautiful. I understand that, but
the thought process.
We use art to turn one to the other.
Yeah. Well, I think that ugly is also in the mind, in the eye of the beholder, not just beauty. And I have a feeling that, especially now, but probably people in all decades say this, the world looks very horrible. It's a confusing place now more than ever. So we see the ugly things, but we forget to see the pretty things. So we need somebody to remind us. And if art can do that, then yay, art, go art. Everybody create. That's what I wanted to say.
When you made Portal and you made the dark side first.
Yeah.
Was there always going to be a light side, or the light side happened after you got the pushback from the dark side?
I don't see dark and light. I do. I can tell the difference when it's dark and when it's light. But I don't see them as evil and good or like opposites. They're partners. And for me, the most inspiring time is the transition between dark and light. In Dutch, we have a word for it.
The liminal space in the middle between
the liminal space in the middle, which is it's a lovely way of saying it in English. But the Dutch word for it is schemering. Schemering.
Okay, there's going to be a test, Peggyann. So
oh no! Should I be taking notes?
You better remember that. So when I said dark and light, I wasn't thinking good and evil Star Wars stuff. I was thinking the first one was literally darker. The painting had darker colors.
Yeah.
And then the other one was lighter. I wasn't applying a moral value to it.
But it is something that people can see in that that painting, those two paintings, and it's all about transition. It's about stepping through a portal and going somewhere else, and how people perceive it, whether they perceive it as having a dark side and a bad side and death being a bad thing, or having it a bright side and a good side and going to heaven as a good thing. That's how people might interpret it. And that painting might be interesting for this, for your question on whether something is ugly or beautiful. And perhaps it can be both at the same time. And I think that is what art is doing.
But you're out in a field holding up the dark one, and then you're out in a field holding up the light one, and then you have it all together.
Mm-hmm.
It would be super powerful to see the whole thing all together. Like, but you're not tall enough to hold that up in the field. You'd have to stand on the back of your horse.
I need to, yeah, that would work. That would work. Yeah, it's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
Peggyann, Signe denies this, but I think her horse lives in the house with her.
What?
She built her own house, and
Awesome.
it's very beautiful and rustic, and the horse would fit in with the decor. I think her horse lives in the house, but she won't admit it. So I want to hear, Peggyann, what do you think about art versus product? I don't even know.
I really agree with both of what you've said. I like what you said about the product and all, that it's important too, especially if you're trying to get a message out to the world. You want it to look good so that other people will pay attention to it and see it and pass it on. But I don't know, it feels kind of like a destination versus journey thing to me. Like the art is the process, and I don't know, just the creativity. And I'm a painter too, and a writer, so I don't know. I do really love the in between, the moment where you're creating and like putting the pen to the paper or putting the paintbrush to the canvas. It's an incredible moment. It's scary, but it feels good to do. And yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my views on it.
Is it scary for you too, Signe?
Well, the writing, in writing, it is scary. When I did the letters from Auntie T, that one.
Ooh.
I wrote that one, and it was, when it went off to the printers, it was scary to say, well, I'm not going to change anything about it because it has been changing and evolving so much. And there's in painting, you kind of know when it's done, especially the way I paint. There is a certain time when it's just done. I can't touch it anymore, and either it's good or it's not, or I find it good or it's not. That's to other people to discern whether it is or not. But in writing, you can just keep on tweaking forever.
Very true. Very true.
So that's scary to me. So when do you stop editing your writing? That's scary.
When you made the book that isn't a book, the letters from Auntie T that you're talking about, at what point did it become a product? Because it did. When you had to have it printed and you had to decide the size of the cards, at some point but the original genesis of it wasn't a product. It was, you didn't even know what it was going to be. So at what
it was
point?
it was a bunch of paintings, and I like products. I love products. I love, like you said, I love the cereal boxes. I'm not sure I like cereal, but I love the boxes, and I'm very susceptible to boxes and packaging and things that look nice. I will sooner buy the things that please my aesthetics than the ugly things, unless the ugly things have very good stuff inside, like chocolate. Chocolate, I don't care what the package is.
Amen.
But anyway, so Auntie T thing was never meant to be a thing, but at a certain point, it felt like it needed to be. I needed to have something to hold because it was such a complex idea living in my brain that I wanted to share with other people. And that was the moment when I thought, well, I have to do this by any means. And I started crowdfunding. And I think when it was truly a thing, a product, is when it came from the printers. And then it was all separate, and I put it all together with my mum. And then finally, in the end, I could hold the box and hand it out to people. That's when it turned into a product. Yeah.
Now, I don't know the name of the girl, the silent book that you're working on with the little
Yeah.
girl and Trunk the Taper. Uh, when did it be? It's a product already because you're designing a silent book. So at what
Yeah.
point, when did it became a product earlier in the process? It sounds like what? How early?
That was the other way around. That was like I need to make a product to get out into the world to let people see that I'm a brilliant illustrator and somebody should pay me for doing what I love doing. So that's the goal of that product, if you will. Oh yeah, he paid me for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to pay you to do a map. Did you get my message?
No.
I sent you a message on Instagram
Oh,
yesterday or in the middle of the night or something. And next year we're gonna have to pay you to do a map, I think.
I won't mind.
But we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
Peggyann is an introvert. You are an introvert. The last time we talked, Signe, you were, I don't want to say petrified, but you were hesitant about setting up your wares in the market. But since then, you had a great success. Talk about the before and after, and then to help Peggyann become more like you.
Yes, please.
Have a burnout? No, don't. But that was made me realize and accept that I am an extroverted introvert, and although I can be around people and be very outgoing, and I'm always curious about people. I love their stories. I love stories, period. But it takes so much energy from me, so I have to go into my house and be in my house for 3 days if I do one event. That's the deal. That's the deal now. So going to markets, I love meeting people, talking to people, and the good thing is that they are there not just for me, so they won't suck me dry all day. They will move on. So they will pass by. They will either like what they see or not. Have a little chat and then move on, and that's what I love. Like these short that I can handle, but like a long, full conversation with like 10 people all day long, that drains me.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. I feel
I see
that.
you nodding.
I actually have a condition or syndrome, I think, called POTS. It's low blood volume, and low blood pressure, and it gives me very extreme fatigue. So I can only do maybe one or two things a day, and then I'm just done. I'm tapped out.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that plus depression and anxiety, and just me being an introvert in general because of the depression and anxiety, I feel it. It's hard to do things like school and all, but
Yeah.
you do them because you want to, and you want to learn, you want to have these experiences, have a life, get your name out there.
Do you sometimes feel like you want to do more, or are you okay with what you can do in a day?
I wish I could do more. I really do. I see a lot of other people just having a full day filled with all sorts of fun sounding things, and I just can't do it. But at the same time, I am kind of a homebody too, so there's that. I do like kind of doing one or two things a day and then going home and snuggling up in my jammies. But sometimes I wish I could do more. Sometimes I wish I could do absolutely nothing. It depends on the
Well,
day.
we have a special talent because we can go in our house and do absolutely nothing. I'm never doing nothing in the house. I'm always doing something, usually with my hands.
Right.
But all those people being out and about all day, they can't do that. They can't sit still and do nothing. So I think it's, and I'm going to give you another lovely Dutch word. It's called lummelen.
Luminant.
For all the Dutch viewers here, lummelen, which is doing nothing. It's like for the sake of doing nothing. It's recharging. It's just recharging your battery. And most people are like the mobile phones on their little wire trying to recharge. Well, somebody's still tapping all their buttons. And we can just, lay on our back in the sun or in the middle of the living room and recharge.
Do you
Very
know?
true.
Do you know the Scottish word, the herkel durkel? Do you know that word?
Oh, it's lovely.
So herkel durkel is, when you get up and you just kind of want to not get up and just lazy around, but you're not. It's not lazy around. It's what you just said. That Dutch word is you're recharging.
Yeah.
And so I guess you could herkel durkel like even in the afternoon, and but it's that period of doing nothing. And
Yeah.
Adrian, you don't know this, Peggyann, but Adrian Sanders was on the show talking about the importance of boredom on episode
Yeah.
16, and now we're on episode 80. She's going to come back on,
Yay.
a year and a half later. We're going to revisit that topic at some point. That's interesting. So you felt last time we talked that getting back to that market that you were at, you felt that, I don't want to say imposter syndrome, but I'm going to say imposter syndrome. You felt like you couldn't have a long conversation because one of the customers might find you out, and you found a way to handle it by only having the short conversations. You just said that. Now that you went that market that you had on the Instagram, it looked like you were like very busy and successful, and I measure success in how well you were received. I don't mean how much money went into the bank account. That's none of my business. But I think you were
Yeah.
very well received. Did any of that imposter syndrome go away?
No, when you're an artist, imposter syndrome is just part of your DNA. It will always stay with you, and it'll keep you. It'll keep you whatever you need to be able to. Well, that's a complicated sentence. You need it to be a good artist, I think. I don't like it. I wish I could, get rid of it, but it's just part of it. It's this. I think the self-doubt is part of it, as long as you can talk yourself out of it again. So yeah, and that market was the last one was special because it was the people I like. It's like the people that are spiritual and that enjoy life and that enjoy the little thing and that can see the beauty in little things. So that was also why it was a success, and I just felt at home there with great people. And I have the same feeling when I'm in Viking markets. It's people that appreciate a slower time. Yeah. Talking about time, I have to go. I wish I didn't.
Go
I
sword
want to
some
talk
people.
some more, but I need to swing some sword and dodge some axes and that kind of stuff.
Go be a Viking. And
yeah,
I found out last time she was on that she actually has a car. I thought she rode her horse everywhere, to Target and to just everywhere. But that's not true. She actually has a car.
Oh, I'm sorry to burst so many bubbles.
Right. Go ride your horse through the snow to your sword fighting Viking lesson.
It was
Thank
wonderful
you so much.
to meet you.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you, Peggyann. Love to talk more.
Yep.
Same here.
We
I want to
will.
hear all about the sword and axe
You
fighting
will.
stuff.
Bye-bye.
And we're back. Oh my gosh. Signe's just so great.
She's a total sweetheart. I love her to death.
Did you see she lit up? Her countenance lit up when you said that you were a painter too.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It really did. She is. So Esmatisco dubbed her the second most fascinating woman on earth.
I can believe that.
Number 1 was Cleopatra. Number 2 was Signe, and number 3 was Esmatisco herself. and what about Kelly Clarkson, man? And she doesn't belong down at 4. What about you? Where are you gonna go? You didn't exist when that ranking happened. Well, you existed, but we didn't know about you.
I didn't. You said, where do I go?
Yeah, from Cleopatra, Signe, Esmatisco.
Shoot, I'd be way down there. I don't even know if I'd be on the list.
Oh no! Don't say that about yourself. We're writing a book together. Oh my gosh! Did that slip out? Hey, we're writing a book together, people. What's it
Yep.
called?
It is called, the working title at the moment is The Adventures of Ren Lee and Ravenna Brennan.
Yeah, Ren Lee will have a last name. She doesn't have one yet. So when Emily and I announced this book, we didn't have a title for, I don't know, a month or two. and then it took another month to come up with the with the subtitle. So we're off to a good start. Our novel has a title already, and it's got an outline, pretty much, kind of.
Pretty much.
And
Basic idea, sort of, kind of what's going to happen.
here's how we're releasing it, people. The first chapter will be released on Substack. It'll be free for a while. We haven't decided how long that while is yet. And so on October 8th, so this episode will come out before October 8th. And once I have the links to it, then we'll share the links. And then it's only free for a while. Every week there'll be a new chapter, and then it'll come out published in paperback form next August. Those the current chapters will go behind the paywall because that's what Substack does, and you'll be able to join to read the past chapters. Like if you don't find out about it until chapter 15 or whatever, or you can wait until August. You can read the free. You can read the free chapter forever, how long it's up there, and then once it does go behind the paywall, you can wait till August and buy the book. If you do subscribe to the Substack, we're gonna give you a free ebook in August when it comes out to the subscribers. So it'll all because you will have already paid to read it, at whatever point you joined, and so it'll all be collected in one place, and it's gonna blow your socks off. I normally don't wear socks, but what do you want to say about it?
I'm really excited to start working with you, John Myers. It'll be really fun. I'm excited about these characters too, especially mine. She'll be in a town that I really, really love, so that's really close to my heart.
Especially yours. What about my characters?
Oh, I'm looking forward to learning more about your characters too. Definitely.
It's gonna be a blast, and uh, I want to say so much, but it's too early. I can't.
I know. I'm
Anything like
scared I'm
that.
gonna give something away, so I'm
And
trying
Mary
to be
Stella,
careful.
there'll be a map in it. I forgot to put a map in this one. There'll eventually be a map in one of the books in this series at some point. Maybe the last book. I don't know. But there'll be a map in it. In The Adventures of. That's such a long title. What is it? The Adventures of what?
The Adventures of Renly and Raven Brennan.
We can
So
do
that
like ACOTAR with it. It can be TAR. Like we can spell it all out. That's what
true.
I'm going to start referring to this in the subsequent series as TPHOLK. So that's kind of like ACOTAR, right? The new Dodie album is an acronym like that. It's not for lack of trying. So it's NFLOT. And so why can't this be TPHOLK? It can be. So there you go.
True.
So ours can be, oh my goodness, so many letters. The whole alphabet stew. What else I we were talking about Signe. What else do you want to say about her? Anything?
She is a really fascinating person. I love the fact that she does sword fighting and axe throwing. That is just incredible.
She's the second most fascinating person on earth.
She really is, and the fact that she built her own house. Wow. That's cool.
I think the horse lives in the house.
I
I
don't
really
know.
I
I
really
don't know.
believe that.
I do love that she has a horse, though.
Cool.
I love horses. And it's always really nice to talk to another painter, someone who likes that too. It's a fun thing to do, something I love, and I love talking to other people who love it too. Like writing. Hey, John Myers.
Oh my goodness.
So
Yes.
So, this may be a really broad question, and I apologize in advance, but
Sloths.
not sloths this time. It's probably as far away from sloths as you could possibly get.
Oh.
What is in outer space?
What is in outer space?
Yes.
That's as far away from sloths as you can get. Oh my gosh. What do we know that's in outer space, or
It is a broad question, I know.
an answer? What is in outer space? There's space junk, right? That's floating around, dead satellites. There's planets and asteroids and why do my mind keeps migrating to space junk? That must be on my mind these days. Have you ever been hit by a piece of space junk?
I have
That
not.
fallen to
Not
the
to my
ground?
knowledge.
Okay, me either.
So,
Yes, tell me.
so there are two things in particular I'd like to tell you about that I've somehow by accident came across on my Google feed. But there's this thing called the heliopause. It's like I don't know. It's crazy names, but it's like the outer edge of our solar system and our galaxy, and it's like as far as the sun and its solar wind and stuff can get to. Like that's as far as it goes. And the really cool thing that fascinates me is there's like an entire bubble surrounding our galaxy, our solar system, that it's kind of created by the sun itself, and it's solar wind and all the stuff it sends out, and it protects us from the stuff beyond the heliopause that's out in the interstellar space, like all the radioactive stuff. And apparently, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 have gone out and explored past the heliopause it is, and they've noticed like a tripling of like ×3 radioactive substances way out there in space. So they can tell that something about the heliosphere protects us from all of that radioactive stuff or whatever.
So when we tell people to get out of their bubble, with that we don't want them to get out of that bubble.
No, stay in that bubble.
That's too far.
Definitely.
Wow. The reason I laughed earlier, because you're like, I accidentally stumbled across this big giant word. Like, this accidentally, it came up as a pop-up ad. At first it was Starbucks, and then Toys R Us, and then Helio blah blah blahs popped up. How
I'm
did that pop
fascinated
up?
by space stuff, so
Oh.
I do tend to look up like black holes and random stuff like that, and so some of it naturally, I guess, falls or pops up onto my Google feed. So I learned about that one time and just stuck in my head.
Did you know that the moon is not made of green cheese? Did you know that?
I think so.
Tell me something that you used to think was true, and now you know that it's not true. That's a perfect example. The green cheese moon.
I can't really think of anything. I know that there were a zillion things that I thought were true as a kid and obviously aren't now as an adult. Um, let's see. I used to misunderstand song lyrics all the time, just about every song I listened to.
Do you sing?
A little. I sang in choir a long time ago.
You can't think of a single thing.
If I come up with something, I'll definitely
Just
text
blurt
you
it
and
out
let
if
you
it
know.
comes out in the rest of this episode.
I will.
I'm trying to think now of one of mine besides the moon. I said one last week but it's still true. Orange juice makes blood.
Wait, what?
I said last week. Don't you watch our own episode? That orange after you give blood, that's why they give you orange juice, because it replaces the blood.
Oh yeah.
Orange juice makes blood. Oh, I know one. When I was a kid, the dome light in your car.
Yeah.
I was instructed by my errant father that if you turned that on, that you'd get arrested.
Really?
And I was like, no way, that's true. Or they wouldn't put it there. Or they would make it where when the car was running in drive, it wouldn't turn on. And then he would say, don't be a smart mouth, little 6-year-old John Myers. That's not a law. It's not true. You can people you see people driving down the road with watching DVDs on the back of the headrest of the the little kids in the back seat watching the DVD or watching a movie on the back of their parents' headrests in their car. So you can certainly turn a dome light on if you can watch Bluey or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch Bluey?
I do not.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I know who he is.
I couldn't even tell you that, so you're better than me.
Oh my goodness.
I live under a rock.
If you'd like to tell Peggyann who Bluey is,
please like and subscribe and comment below. Definitely.
know what else I want them to do? I want them to write in and tell them that they like your voice. Please like and subscribe to her voice. How's that? That'll help you get over that.
Thank you. I think. Thank you.
Last week the call to action was, and people do the call to actions a year later or whatever, and so you can argue with this what we're going to decide, or you can disagree, or you can agree and tell us why. The call to action was to watch season 1 episode 4 called Captain Iron Pants of Gomer Pyle and tell us whose story that is. Is it Sergeant Carter's story, Captain Iron Pants story, or is it Gomer Pyle's story? What do you say? What say you, Peggyann Kennedy?
Well, I feel like anybody could argue it in any of those ways, but personally, I feel like it's Captain Armpant's story because she changes more than the others throughout the story, and I feel like that's what a good protagonist of a story does. He or she changes, and you hopefully for the better, but sadly not always. But she does change, and she kind of learns that it's okay to be feminine and an officer in the Marine Corps, and she kind of softens out a little bit.
What's her goal? If it's her
Uh,
story, she needs a goal.
well, in the beginning, her goal is, I would assume it's never really explicitly said, but it's I guess just to be a really great Marine Corps officer, and also to get Gomer Pyle to stop saying ma'am and start saying, well, whatever he said, salute instead of tipping his hat.
Correct.
So,
And
but then,
go ahead.
Sorry, towards the end, I don't know. I guess her goal then would have been maybe, I don't know, maybe just to be a little more relaxed or have fun, enjoy your life, find meaning in life. I don't know. You could argue that a lot of ways.
And then based on what Peggyann said, then the obstacles would be all the things that would stop her from doing those goals. There weren't really anything to stop her.
Except herself, maybe.
Right.
Like
It was internal. There weren't
it
any
was
outside obstacles.
it was such a male-dominated era back then in the military, and she felt like she had to be tough to overcome that. So there was that.
If all the guys in the barracks would have seen her soften up and go, "Oh, you're not as tough as you pretend you are," blah blah blah, then that would have been an external obstacle, but that didn't happen. So any obstacles that she had were internal. I'm gonna agree with you, and here's why I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna disagree with one little minor thing that you said, but I'm gonna agree with you. You would think it would be Gomer Pyle's story because he's the
That's the name of
main.
the show.
He's the main character. It's the name of the show, but the main character isn't always the protagonist. And in this specific episode, he wasn't. He didn't have any goal. He did not set out to soften her up. Like if in the inciting incident where she yells at him for not saluting and for tipping his hat, if he would have said, Sergeant Carter, it's going to be my goal by the end of the week, I'll switch her over, I'll get her to soften up, then yeah. But that wasn't his impact on her was just by him and his personality and his character. He didn't have a goal other than to please her, but and to do a good job with what he was doing. But that wasn't the goal of the story that we watched at all. And they're also, you could say that she would, if he had a goal, she would have been the obstacle. She would have been the antagonist. But that was the other thing what I was going to say. So I agree with you that she's the protagonist, that she has, I think, so when I said I disagreed with one little thing, you said she had one goal at the beginning and one goal at the end. That's true, but her, to measure her arc or the size of her arc, she certainly had the biggest arc, and so her arc went from A to Z. Her arc went from the hard nose to actually being a feminine woman, and so that was her arc. But her goal was to not change. Her goal was to stay the same. So that would, but she failed. And sometimes you can have a big arc. Your protagonist doesn't always get, succeed in their goal. Yes, she's a protagonist. Yes, she had a goal. I'm going to say her goal was to not change and to stay the same. And then her big arc demonstrates that she failed in her goal of not changing. So that's how I would recast that. So you're 99% correct, and that's how I'd look at that. Now, if it could have gone another way, she could have not changed. That's called a flat arc, and I don't want our characters to do that. I think people get bored with a flat arc. There are exceptions. So I think we've talked about this on the show before. Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm, not family friendly, so don't watch that. Shame on you. What are you watching? Hanging out in bars watching Larry David. He doesn't change for 25 years. And so intentionally he's like, I'm gonna make a series. My character is going to have no growth whatsoever. I'm not going to learn a single lesson. I'm going to be the same guy on the last episode that I am on the first episode. That was intentional, to an intentional flat arc. He didn't know it was going to last 24 years, 25 years of a series, but he set out to do that by design. Most screenwriters or most writers don't set out to make a flat arc by design. Because people get bored with it. People turn the channel. But there's exceptions. How much does James Bond change? He and in an episode, he might, in one single movie or one single book, he might learn something or grow, but he's basically the same as he was whenever 40 years ago. And so does he have a flat arc? His life has a flat arc if he were a real person, but there might be a little bit of arc in specific stories. And I don't know how we wound up with James Bond when we started with Gomer Pyle. Anything else? Final words you want to say on that?
That's pretty much it on Gomer Pyle.
You picked that apart very well. I'm very, very impressed.
Thank you. Are you ready for the final act?
Am I ever?
So I prepared a lovely little game for you.
Well, I'm not playing until you tell me what my prize is.
That's right. I need to give you a little prize, don't I? What do I have here? Let's see. How's about this?
Ah! What? I thought you were gonna get one of your paintings. I want to win one of your paintings in a future week.
Okay.
What? So
next.
You've graduated so many times. What graduation did you get when you won that? When you
This
got
was
that?
my bachelor's degree.
Oh, in
At
creative writing.
TU. Yes. They gave me a little goodie bag filled with a whole bunch of cool swag gifts and all, and this was one of them.
You paid $30,000 for that smiley face.
The VA paid.
Did good. Thank you for your service. Does it have a name?
Not yet. Would you like to give it a name?
If I win
Or would the viewers like to give it a name?
Oh, yeah. It can't be Smiley.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind. That just feels a little obvious.
You're more creative than that. You better be. We're writing a novel together.
I am, I promise.
These are my characters, Smiley and Frowny. And I'm making fun of that, but there was an emoji movie already. And so I guess I shouldn't make too much fun of those character names. All right, I'm ready to play this game that I have no idea what it is.
Okay, do you have some writing paper and a writing utensil ready?
I have this notepad from the Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma City, and I have this The World Awaits Your Creative Genius ink pen. That's a future novel. That's after our novel. That's after our novel, before book 2 of this, or maybe after book 2 of this. I don't know. So many things to write. No wonder I don't sleep. I'm ready. I got paper. I got a pen. What else do you need?
Okay, so let me explain the directions to you. So, first I'm gonna set a timer and I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to come up with as many places as you can.
30 seconds.
And it's pretty easy. I'll give you a little more time for the next two things, but for the places, they can be as specific or as vague as you want. They can be a town or just a random bar or well, not a bar, but I don't know, a cafe. I don't know, whatever you want, wherever you want.
I think you had a slip, and that your mind went straight to bar life. Does not seem
My bad.
It does not seem like you at all.
It doesn't.
I have a map over there because I was looking at our map to see our towns and see what I should have had that, but it's over there. All right, so I'm 30 seconds. Towns or places.
Okay, and then I'll give you 1 minute for people. It can be like a monk and a priest and a rabbi, or it can be two mothers together talking, walking their babies, whatever characters you want.
How many people?
As many as you want, but enough for there to be dialogue later in the story.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So then you have 1 minute for the conversation itself. And again, it can be anything as long as there's dialogue and as long as there can be a story. And you can come up with story ideas too, if you'd like, but you'll come up with as many ideas as you can for a story, a potential story or dialogue topic, like the Andes Mountains or Dracula, Frankenstein, anything like that.
None of those 3 things you said are stories. They were
Okay.
a setting and 2 characters. It's not
Well,
a story.
it's not, but
You know what else isn't a story? When you go into your mailbox. That's not a story.
No, it's not.
All right,
It's not.
continue.
So, let me kind of give you an example. My mother did this. She was my guinea pig yesterday,
Oh my goodness.
and she ended up coming up with a woman teacher with second graders in San Francisco snorkeling with Dracula at night.
That's a premise. That's not a story.
That's the premise, but then you'll have like a minute after that to write a little story or little mini dialogue.
Good thing I'm not typing this. I'd need those minutes would have to be hours. All right. I can't read my writing once I write it down. You know that. So here we go. I'm ready.
Okay.
What are you gonna do during these times? You got to entertain the people. While they can't just watch me write on a notepad.
I will hold up the timer.
You have to do something. You can't sing them a song because we don't have the rights unless you wrote a song.
Yeah, I definitely did not write a song.
You should have to paint a painting. You should illustrate my story. You should have to paint a painting while I write this story. All right, I'm ready.
Okay,
You got to
ready?
remind me each of those steps because I was only half listening.
Okay, I'll remind you each step. So
Okay.
this one will be as many places as you can. Setting, I guess. All right, and go.
Okay.
I hope I got that right. You can see the reflection of my stuff in the phone. That's not good. I don't want that.
Too bad you don't have a cat. Oh, I'm out of time.
Okie
Do I tell them to you now or at the end?
You can tell them at the end, just as long as you have a list of
Okay.
things
Hope I
that you can
remember
choose
them by
from.
then. Because I don't think I can read that. All right.
All right, now this time you will have 1 minute. Let me do this. Oh, that's hours. I don't want you to do hours. Let's see. This time you will be coming up with your characters. Whoever you want. They can be named or just general mom and her kids or something. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
And go.
Do I have to use all, like if I have 12 names, do I have to use all 12 names?
No, just pick any 1 or 2 or 3 that you want.
Okay.
Preferably 2 or more. My hand is not steady.
Yep.
Oops.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. And how many did you get, just out of curiosity?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One every 10 seconds.
Cool. That's good. And then now you'll come up with conversation ideas. You'll have a minute for that as
Topics for
well.
conversation.
Right. Something that you can get a
Topics
story
of
out of.
conversation.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And go. It can be anything you want. I need to get this centered. Oops. I apologize if anyone can see my room through my phone screen. It is a little messy. It's something I need to work on.
Next episode, I'm keeping a tally of how many times you apologize.
I think my mother already does that. She tells me all the time to stop apologizing, and then I'll just say sorry to that. Like, I apologize for apologizing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Okie dokie.
Someone and grown woman, and she was at school. They teased her. They called her Sorry Sarah because she always said she was sorry, and it like so that made her not feel good about herself. But even as a grown up, as a 38-year-old woman, 34-year-old woman, she still does or did when I knew her what you do. Like she would still do that. So it didn't like she would say, I'm sorry like that.
Yeah, it's something I'm trying to work on. My mother, especially, is trying to help me.
What
And
if
she'll
you
tell me
change
that
it to I'm amazing?
I've been trying to use thank you instead of I'm sorry. So,
Oh, that's good. That's positive.
Right. Like if I'm having to go do something while my mother's ready to sit down and eat, I'll say thank you for your patience instead of I'm sorry I made you wait.
That's
But
smart. I like that. That's a good way to reframe it. Very good. All right. Next.
Okay, this time I'll give you 1 minute to write a little bit of dialogue from all of these characters talking about your topic in this setting, unless you'd rather have a little bit longer.
No, I was actually going to say I don't need a minute. I'll do it impromptu when I.
Okay.
I'll do the dialogue part impromptu whenever the next thing you tell me to do.
Oh, that was it.
Oh.
So you can do the impromptu whenever you're ready.
Oh, well, then I do need that minute to write the dialogue.
I apologize. I mean, thank you for
pointing that out.
Yes.
I'm amazing.
You are.
No, you are
amazing, John Myers.
I want you to add. So you start the thing with thank you, and then you end it with I'm amazing. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm amazing.
Thank you for pointing that out. I'm amazing.
There you go. All right. So you giving me a minute for dialogue?
Yes.
Okay.
Go.
Just say I'm amazing for a minute.
Oh, my bad. I'll cancel it and stop.
Me of 2 seconds.
I did. Whoopsie. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
And go. Yeah. Okay. I am amazing. I am amazing.
I love it. Perfect.
I'm working on it. I'm doing my best.
I haven't caught you saying sir today.
I think I said it once or twice. But my mother told me to tell you that she doesn't want me to stop saying it to you.
So on that episode that we talked to, let me use my time up and then I'll say something.
Okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're done. Beep.
So that episode, so when we're done with the game, we'll have to talk about the episode because I said we were going to talk about whose story that episode of Gomer Pyle was.
Oh yeah.
So that episode that kind of happens like she's like, don't call me ma'am, or you know what I mean? But she's saying, call me a title even higher. Call me captain. Don't call me ma'am. And he's like, I'm polite. I got to call you ma'am. So that's you. I got to call you sir. That's what your mom would say. But no, the person who receives the label, you know what I mean? Like if you called me, like I don't like when people call me buddy, hey buddy, or hey captain. I don't like that, right? And so I get to say, don't call me that, right? I don't. The speaker doesn't get to define a term to the receiver. The receiver can say, hey, don't call me that. I find the sir offensive.
I sure don't mean it that way. It's a term of highest honor and respect in the South.
I know I'm exaggerating, but bless your heart is sweet, but then some people say bless your heart as not sweet, right?
Right. So, it has many, many meanings.
You're saying sir as sweet, but I don't like sir. So there you go. Your mom was nice. I'm not piling on your mom here. So when she watches this, I don't mean anything by that. I'm just being goofy. All right. So my words are. See, I already can't read them. This is a failed experiment. Church, kitchen, driveway, Las Vegas, and the moon.
Cool.
My places. My people are Peggyann, Signe, John Myers, Captain Crunch. I just said I don't like that word, Captain. And look, I put it right there. Colonel Sanders and Kurt Vonnegut. The topics of conversation are litter, owls, bell ringing, bell towers, and therapy.
Oh,
Now what
interesting.
do I do with these?
You come up with
Dialogue.
dialogue, right?
So this is not a story. I don't have to write a story. I'm writing dialogue.
Right. Just write the conversation.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5 topics, 5 places, 6 people. So one of these people have to go. Which one do you want me to cross off the list? Captain
You can
Crunch,
choose.
Colonel Sanders, or Kurt Vonnegut. One of them's got to go.
Captain Crunch, Colonel Sanders, or who?
Kurt Vonnegut.
Cross him out.
Dude, he is the first of all, he has the same birthday as I do, November 11th. But I thought I had one of his books over here. I have a whole Kurt Vonnegut shelf over there. I have every book that he's ever written over there. But I thought I had one over here. Breakfast of Champions. That is not my favorite, but that's the first one I thought of. Because look, here it is right here. And so there you go. But we're crossing him off. All right.
Okay, just pick one from each category or I guess 2 or more of the people so that they can have a dialogue.
Have you seen that freestyle rapper guy that was on America's Got Talent?
Not.
If I was him, I could rap these to you. I would use all of them and rap them.
That would be cool.
I can't do that, man. That would be cool, though.
Could you write a character that raps them all?
Not before you have to go to school. Peggyann says to Signe, I am not feeling well enough to go to church today. I'm just going to stay here in the kitchen. And John Meyers goes, when you're sick, that's the time you should be going to church. That's where the church, that's where sick people, that's where you go. And that's not an excuse to not go to church. And then Captain Crunch says, when I'm sick, I can't even get out of the driveway on a Sunday morning. And Colonel Sanders chimes in and says, driveway? I drove by your driveway the other day and there was so much litter that I was so disgusted by the litter that was in your driveway that I had to talk about it in therapy. And my therapist kept saying that it was because I was frightened by an owl when I was a child, and the exposure therapy for that was he had a bell, like a cowbell, that had a picture of an owl on it. So every time he would ring the bell, I would equate that. This is Colonel Sanders talking, not me. I would equate that with a positive connotation to the owl, and so it helped me a lot. And then Kurt Vonnegut, who got crossed off the list, pops in and goes, what'd you cross me off the list for, Peggyann? I had that same therapy when I was in Las Vegas. And Peggyann says, I don't care if you had that therapy on the moon. I don't want to hear from you. World-renowned author who has the same birthday as John Meyers. And then she, Peggyann, retired to her bell tower and read a book by Colonel Sanders. There, I got them all.
Cool.
What do I win? Oh, now I got to name him. So much work on this podcast.
The nameless graduate smiley face.
Hey.
Hey, what?
We
couldn't have done it without you.
We couldn't have done it without you.